Hey everyone, welcome back. We're diving into Isaiah today, chapters 28 through 33.
Oh, Isaiah.
Yeah, I know, you might be thinking, uh-oh, more doom and gloom from the prophets, right?
Right.
But these chapters, I think you'll find they're really relatable.
Okay.
We're going to be talking about justice, rebellion,
Mm-hmm.
restoration, things that, these themes echo throughout history and they're still relevant today.
Absolutely.
So,
These chapters can be kind of a challenge to wade through,
yeah.
like a dense forest of warnings and pronouncements. But, they have these little hidden truths that really speak to us as individuals.
Okay, so we're dealing with messages from the prophet Isaiah.
Yep.
Directed at the kingdoms of Israel and Judah.
Right.
And he does not hold back.
No, he does not.
He's like that friend who's always telling you the hard truths,
Exactly.
even when you don't want to hear them.
He's like a surgeon with words,
Okay.
cutting right through everything to the
Yeah.
heart of the matter.
All right, so chapter 28. Picture this, okay?
Right.
You've got this vibrant flower crown, symbol of glory, bright, power.
Okay.
But it's slowly wilting, losing its beauty.
Mm.
This is how Isaiah describes Ephraim,
Right.
northern kingdom of Israel.
Okay.
So they were once powerful, but pride and excess led to their downfall.
Right.
Kind of makes you think, what are the flower crowns in our own lives?
That's a good question.
Right.
Yeah.
The things we're clinging to that are maybe losing their value. And Isaiah, he doesn't just point out the problem.
No.
He offers a solution.
Yeah.
He introduces the idea of a cornerstone being laid in Zion.
A cornerstone.
Yeah, it's pretty symbolic when you think about it. So in
Wow.
ancient architecture, the cornerstone, that was essential.
Right.
It was the foundation upon which the entire structure rested.
Okay.
So when he's talking about a cornerstone being laid in Zion, he's not just talking about a building.
This is pointing towards something much greater.
Okay, I'm starting to see where you're going with this.
Yeah.
So this cornerstone represents...
It represents the coming Messiah,
Okay.
who would become the foundation of a new covenant.
Wow.
Offering a path to salvation and a hope for restoration.
So even as he's delivering these warnings,
Right.
there's this glimmer of hope.
Absolutely.
That's a powerful message.
It is.
And we see it over and over in these chapters.
Yeah.
Now, chapter 29 shifts focus to Judah,
Okay.
southern kingdom,
Right.
and they've got a different problem.
Yeah.
It's not outward rebellion, it's hypocrisy.
Yes. Isaiah's not afraid to call them out
He really isn't.
on their empty rituals, their hollow words.
Right.
There's that verse, "These people come near to me with their mouth and honor me with their lips, but their hearts are far from me."
Wow.
That's powerful, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's like they're putting on a show, but their hearts aren't in it at all.
Right. Like they're just going through the motions.
Exactly.
Without really believing it.
It makes you think, though, doesn't it?
It does.
About ourselves.
Yeah.
Are we just going through the motions in our own lives?
Hmm.
Are there areas where our actions don't match up with what we say we believe?
That's a tough question.
Yeah.
Really makes you think.
But even in the midst of this critique,
Yeah.
there's a glimmer of hope.
Okay.
Isaiah talks about God restoring sight to the blind, hearing to the deaf,
Mm-hmm.
both literally and metaphorically.
Right.
He's hinting at this future transformation, a chance for Judah to move beyond.
Right. To turn things around.
Yeah.
Now, chapters 30 and 31,
Okay.
misplaced trust. This really comes to the forefront.
Right.
These chapters describe Judah's reliance on Egypt for help.
Oh, interesting.
Political alliance.
Right.
Isaiah condemns it.
Yeah, to understand why this was such a big deal,
Right.
we have to think about the historical context.
Oh, okay.
So Egypt was a major power back then.
Mm-hmm.
Alliances with them were seen as a way to gain protection. But spiritually speaking,
Yeah.
it showed a lack of faith in God.
So instead of trusting God,
Exactly.
they were putting their faith in human strength.
It's like saying we trust chariots and horses
Wow.
more than we trust you, God.
And there are consequences to that.
There are. Isaiah pronounces a woe on those seeking help from Egypt and contrasts it with this powerful statement. In repentance and rest is your salvation. In quietness and trust is your strength.
It's like he's saying, you're running around, you're looking for security in all the wrong places,
Right.
when true peace and strength can only be found in surrendering to God. But here's the thing.
What's that?
Judah's not the only one who's ever been guilty of misplaced trust. We all have our Egypts.
Right. Those things we rely on
Yeah,
instead of putting our faith in something bigger.
exactly. So Let's think about that for a second, you know?
Okay.
Turn our attention inward and ask ourselves,
What are our modern-day Egypts?
what are those things we lean on?
For security or comfort or identity?
Instead of placing our trust in God, or
Yeah.
for some people, it might be their careers.
Okay.
You know, you're constantly striving for success, validation in the workplace,
Yeah.
and you neglect your spiritual life in the process.
Right. It's so easy to get caught up
It is.
in chasing these external markers of success.
Right.
You think they'll bring you happiness, but
Yeah.
they're like mirages in the desert.
It's like we're building these little idols
Exactly.
out of these things that seem good on the surface.
Right.
They can't really give you what you need.
Yeah, they can't provide that lasting fulfillment.
Right. And they're fleeting.
Mhm.
Careers can crumble. Social media trends, those fade.
Relationships can let us down.
Exactly.
So if we're looking to those things for security,
Right.
it's like building our house on sand.
It is.
Isaiah's warnings.
Yeah,
They're so relevant for us today.
they are.
He's urging us to examine our own hearts.
Right. Make sure we're not making the same mistakes. Okay, let's move on to chapter 32.
Okay.
It feels like a turning point.
All right.
All this judgment, all these warnings,
Right.
we get this glimpse of hope,
Yes, we see a vision
future restoration.
of a righteous king
Yeah.
ruling justly.
Foreshadowing at the Messiah.
Absolutely. And this idea of a righteous king
Yeah.
was really significant for the Jewish people.
Okay.
They had been waiting
Right.
for a leader who would embody God's justice.
And that longing for just leadership that resonates, you know,
It's
Oh, yeah.
throughout history.
throughout history. And even today,
Yeah.
we all want leaders who are going to act with integrity,
Right. Fairness.
stand up for those who are marginalized.
Exactly.
And chapter 32
Yeah.
offers a glimpse of that hope fulfilled,
Okay.
where righteousness wins, where oppression is overthrown.
Yeah.
God's presence fills the earth with peace.
That's a beautiful vision.
It reminds us that even in the midst of chaos and darkness,
Yeah.
God's plan of redemption is still unfolding. We get to be a part of that story.
We do.
But we can't get too carried away with all the hope and the promise.
Right.
Because chapter 33
Okay.
brings us back down to earth,
All right.
warning against Assyria's treachery,
Right.
reminding us that evil and injustice,
Still very much present.
yeah, they haven't gone away.
Assyria was powerful, a feared empire,
Right.
known for its ruthlessness and brutality.
They were like the bullies of the ancient
Yes.
world.
Exactly.
Their aggression,
Yeah.
their violence, it was a serious threat.
To all the surrounding nations, including Judah.
So this warning
Right.
against Assyria feels like this reminder that even when things seem hopeful,
Yeah.
we can't let our guard down.
We can't. There are still forces of darkness out there.
Exactly.
We need to be vigilant
Yeah.
in resisting them.
But the chapter doesn't end on a note of despair.
No.
It ends with this breathtaking vision
Yes.
of God's ultimate victory,
Mhm.
the restoration of beauty and peace.
Your eyes will see the king in his beauty. They will behold a land that stretches afar.
Wow, what a powerful image of hope.
It is.
It's a reminder that,
No matter how dark things get,
yeah,
God is in control.
God's love and justice will prevail. We can
Yeah.
find peace,
Yes.
security in his presence.
Even in the midst of turmoil.
Yeah. So we've journeyed through these chapters.
We have.
You know, pronouncements of judgment, glimmers of hope,
Right.
stark warnings, and visions of restoration.
It's been quite a journey.
But I feel like there's more to uncover.
Oh, there always is with these texts.
Right.
They're like deep wells.
Yeah.
The more you draw from them, the more
Mhm.
you discover.
As we reflect on these chapters,
Yeah.
what are the key takeaways for us today?
What are those timeless truths?
What can we learn from the mistakes of the past?
How can we live in a way
Yeah.
that aligns with God's will?
Brings us closer to that vision of a restored world.
Mm-hmm.
These are great questions.
They are.
And I think the best way to answer them is to turn inward.
Okay.
Let's take a moment.
Yeah.
Reflect. We've been unpacking a lot in these chapters of Isaiah.
We have.
You know, misplaced trust, how it leads to downfall.
Mhm.
Judah, they put their faith in Egypt's military might.
Right. Instead of relying on God.
It costs them,
Yeah.
but, you know, it's easy to judge them.
It is from a distance.
Yeah,
But the real challenge is to look at ourselves.
right. And ask, okay, where am I placing my trust?
What are my modern day Egypts?
Yeah, what are those things?
It's something we all have to think about.
We do.
The things we rely on
Yeah.
for security, comfort, identity, they can easily become idols in our lives.
Right, without even realizing it.
For some people,
Yeah,
it might be wealth or status.
the pursuit of
Yeah, always needing to climb higher.
more possessions.
More.
Right, and it distracts us from what matters.
It really does.
It's like we're on this treadmill, going and going, but
Never getting anywhere.
never satisfied.
For others, it might be validation from social media, curating their online persona.
Right, how many likes?
Yeah, measuring their worth by followers.
It's so easy to get caught up in that.
It is. You compare yourself to others.
Right, feeling inadequate.
Exactly. And these are just a few examples.
Yeah.
Those Egypts, they can be anything.
Relationships.
Relationships, ideologies.
Even our own abilities.
Right. Anything we place above God
That we rely on.
becomes a stumbling block.
So, how do we break free?
How do we get rid of those Egypts?
What does it look like to trust God?
Well, I think it starts with being honest,
Right.
admitting where we've gone wrong,
Right, acknowledging it.
taking a good look at our lives,
Mm-hmm.
asking what consumes my thoughts, what drives my actions, what defines my worth.
Tough questions.
They are, but important ones.
Shining a light on those hidden parts of ourselves. And once we see them,
We can start to shift our focus.
back to God.
It's about surrendering,
Letting go of that need to control.
trusting that God is in control.
Can be kind of scary.
Can letting go?
Yeah, of those things we've been holding on to.
But, it's also incredibly liberating.
Oh,
When we surrender to God,
yeah,
we're not losing anything.
right.
We're gaining something much greater,
Like what?
a peace that surpasses understanding,
Okay.
a purpose beyond our circumstances,
Mm.
a love that is unconditional.
It's like trading in those flimsy shelters
Right, the temporary ones,
for something solid.
a firm foundation.
And that foundation is Christ.
It is. He is the cornerstone Isaiah spoke about.
Wow.
He can handle the weight of all our burdens.
Our hopes, fears, anxieties.
He is the one who offers true security,
So it's not about earning our way back to God.
No.
It's about surrender,
letting him in
allowing him to change us.
to transform us from the inside out.
And that takes time.
It does. It's a process.
A journey.
Keeping our hearts and actions aligned with God's will.
But it's a journey worth taking.
Absolutely.
It leads to peace, purpose, lasting fulfillment,
It allows us to be a part of God's plan,
that vision of a restored world.
Isaiah's vision.
So as we wrap up
Mm-hmm.
our deep dive into Isaiah,
Chapters 28 through 33.
think about those modern-day Egypts in your own life.
Where have you misplaced your trust
What's holding you back?
from experiencing God's love and grace?
And how can you shift your trust
From those temporary things,
to a foundation that lasts?
the foundation found in Christ.
These are questions worth pondering.
They are.
And as you wrestle with them,
I believe you'll find
yeah.
the wisdom in these ancient words
Mm-hmm.
is just as powerful today.
Thanks for joining us on this deep dive.
Until next time.
Keep seeking, keep questioning, and keep exploring.